This is the brand new Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. But yeah, just look at it. It looks and feels exactly like a Galaxy Note. The squared off edge design, and yes, you have an S Pen built right in, so you can jot notes or draw on it. So yeah, Samsung might technically no longer make Note phones by name, but this one is clearly a Galaxy Note down to its very core. So what is it like to use? First, it feels like a bigger phone compared to last year's Galaxy S21 Ultra. The screen actually measures the same 6.8 inches, but it has a different aspect ratio and it's wider and less tall. That extra width gets you a bit more space to write with the S Pen, but also makes it hard to just hold the phone in one hand, just because of the width. And speaking of the S Pen, it hasn't changed much from the last Note phone. It comes in one color, black, but a nice little touch is that the cap on the S Pen is customized to color match your phone. So if you, for example, get the burgundy red Galaxy S22 Ultra, the cap on the S Pen will also be red. So we tried writing with the S Pen briefly, and it's very impressive how it registers much faster now with 3 times improved latency, so you get an almost real pen to paper feel while writing with it. Samsung says it gets just 2.8 milliseconds in latency, and it uses AI to predict the direction of your handwriting to get that speed. So that's cool stuff, and you can do all S Pen things with it. You can write, you can draw, you can do the air gestures in the camera and in other places, lock screen notes, everything. It's a Note, I'm telling you. And as for the screen, it is slightly curved at the sides, while the regular S22 and the Plus models have a completely flat screen. So this is a personal preference, but would rather take the flat screen. But anyway, now speaking of Samsung, we often forget just how good their screen technology is. Samsung makes the screens for the entire industry, including iPhones, but it has kept the very latest and best for this phone. We have a 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED display here, and it sets a new record for smartphone brightness, going all the way up to 1750 nits. Colors look vibrant, the resolution is tack sharp at 1440p QHD+, compared to a 1080p resolution on the regular S22 and the Plus version. And also you have a dynamic refresh rate that modulates now from as low as just 1 Hz for static content all the way to 120 Hz for smooth scrolling and for gaming. By the way, you still get 2 different versions of the S22 Ultra depending on your country. So the US and some other places get the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor, while the UK and Europe get the Exynos 2200 chip by Samsung. So both are 4nm processors, and we will compare them side by side very soon, stay tuned for that video, but it seems that the Snapdragon is still the slightly faster and slightly more efficient one of the two. And Samsung actually spent a good few minutes at Unpacked to explain how it has optimized the vapor chamber cooling system and the thermal system, going into great detail, but the effect is that the phone dissipates heat very effectively and doesn't overheat or throttle as much. And by the way, another detail is that the base model of the Ultra this year will ship with just 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, which is a downgrade from the 12GB of RAM you used to get on the base S21 Ultra model last year. Oh well, at least all those rumors about Samsung increasing prices never came to fruition, and the S22 Ultra costs $1,200 for the base version, just as before, while for $100 more you can upgrade to 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage, which is what we recommend since you have no microSD card slot here, and this just seemed like the more reasonable configuration. And yes, there will also be a 512GB model and even a crazy 1TB version, but that one is going to cost too. And for biometrics, we briefly tested the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, and it seems to be about the same as on last year's model, which is to say quite fast and accurate. And you also get face recognition via the front camera using image-based recognition. So by the way, have you noticed how phone presentations these days have become mostly about the cameras? So yeah, what about the cameras on the S22 Ultra? Now we'll have an in-depth camera comparison very soon, but our initial impressions are that this camera has just gotten better all around and mostly at night. Now we're not big fans of those protruding lenses on the back just in terms of design, but in terms of quality you still have the same 4 cameras with the same sensor sizes on the back. You have a 108 megapixel main shooter, an ultra-wide camera and 2 dedicated zoom lenses. one at 3 times zoom and another one at 10 times zoom. And it even goes up to 100 times if you use digital zoom, but of course the quality there drops significantly. So the big thing here is that night shots look great on the Ultra. You get a new super clear lens for the main camera with anti-reflective coating, so you get almost no lens flare. And at night, the phone captures multiple frames and combines them into one using AI behind the scenes to enhance color and detail. And all of that multi-frame magic works with portrait mode, with the 3 times zoom camera and with the front shooter. Then another big improvement is in portrait mode, where the phone builds a super detailed depth map and can now accurately separate even single strands of hair from the blurred background in portrait shots. And all of this works with pets too, which is super nice, and you also get the studio light effects in portrait mode. Samsung is also bringing expert RAW, multi-frame RAW format with 16-bit photos for those enthusiasts who edit their photos in Lightroom later. And finally, on the video side, you also get vastly better video stabilization using a combination of OIS that physically moves the lens and then VDIS that applies software stabilization, and the combined result is a video with that walking on air feel, almost as if the phone was placed on a gimbal, and that works at night. The best thing about the S22 Ultra might just be that Samsung is expanding software support and will give this phone, as well as the complete Galaxy S22 series, 4 years of major OS updates and 5 years of security updates. This is the best of any Android phone maker, better than even Google itself, where Pixel phones only get 3 years of major OS updates, and Samsung previously also used to provide 3 years, now we get 4. Last but not least, having the same size 5000 mAh battery and an S Pen is really cool, and both the Ultra and the S22 Plus now get 45-watt fast charging. Of course, you have to buy the charger separately, you don't get a charger in the box, the usual stuff. On the Ultra, 45-watt charging gives you a 0 to 50% top up in just 20 minutes. Great stuff. Finally, the S22 Ultra is already up for pre-order and will arrive in stores on February 25th, and you can check out the best deals and more about it in the description to this video. So tell me, how do you like this new S22 Ultra? I just find it really hard not to call it a Note 22 Ultra, that's what it feels like, and that might just have been the better name, but Samsung went with S22 Ultra. Are you happy about the S Pen and the new design? Let me know in the comments, drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you like this video. Thanks for watching, my name is Vic and I'll talk to you in the next one.